Hey everyone, Erick Stakelbeck here. Today on the newscast, an ancient Old Testament site with huge significance for all Bible believers has been damaged by the Palestinian Authority. How did this happen and where do we go from here? Get the inside story coming up. Hey folks, Erick Stakelbeck here. Welcome to the Watchman Newscast. We've got some very important and troubling news for you today out of Israel. The site of Joshua's altar, which sits atop the Biblical Mount Ebal in the Samaria region, was damaged this week by Palestinian Authority workers who were doing road work in the area. Now, the workers reportedly damaged the altar's exterior wall. They took ancient stones from the site and even ground some of the stones into gravel. The altar itself, thankfully, was not damaged, and according to the Jewish press website, some Israeli residents who live nearby in Samaria restored a portion of the wall on Thursday. But folks, this is a serious incident for a few reasons. Number one, Joshua's altar has major biblical significance. The book of Joshua describes how Moses commanded the Israelites to build an altar to the Lord once they crossed the Jordan River and entered the Promised Land. Joshua and the ancient Israelites made sacrifices to God there, and the Ark of the Covenant and the tabernacle stood on that very spot. Now, as you'll see in a minute, I've been to this site, and while there are varying opinions among archaeologists, I believe that this is the place. The second reason why we should care about it being damaged is that this was no accident. The Palestinian Authority of Mahmoud Abbas knows very well what this site represents, not only to Jews, of course, but also to Christians. Remember, we believe in the entire Bible, front to back. The site has gotten a good amount of media coverage over the past few years, including on the Watchman TV show on TBN, and Abbas and the PA don't like it because it proves yet again the Jewish people's ancient and ancestral presence in the land of Israel, starting with the biblical heartland of Judea and Samaria. The damage to Mount Ebal is part of a larger effort by the Palestinian Authority to erase Jewish history in Judea, Samaria, and Jerusalem, including on the Temple Mount. Now, as I mentioned, I've been at the site of Joshua's altar, and folks, I can tell you it is remote. It's actually located in Area B, meaning it's under Palestinian Authority control. We needed an armed escort from the Israel Defense Forces just to visit it. Take a look at this clip from the Watchman TV show on TBN, Joshua's Altar. Well, Yakil, I am so excited to be where we are standing right now. We're on the mountains of Israel in Samaria, the biblical heartland. What is this structure right behind us?
It's unbelievable. This is the altar of Joshua bin Nun. Here they gathered together all the tribes, the 12 tribes of Israel. 6 stand on this mountain, on Gerizim mountain. The other 6 stood here. And
this is Mount Ebal.
This is Mount Ebal.
From the Bible.
From the Bible. Gerizim and Ebal. And here stood the first time of the tabernacle. They put it here. The Ark of the Covenant also stood here. And the holy priest used to sacrifice the animals that they are allowed and pure to eat on this structure.
This altar, Yakil, 3,300 years old, by the way. Joshua's altar, Joshua ben Nun, son of Nun, as you said. Not only was the altar here with the sacrifices, this is sacred ground we're standing on, the Ark of the Covenant and the tabernacle, and probably 1 million Israelites standing all around.
Yes, they used to do the ceremony that Moses commanded them just a few years before. You will cross the Jordan River, you will go just ahead straight to this mountain, and on Ebal mountain you will build the altar, you will sacrifice the animals as I command you, and you will take the stones that they are unhewn stones. It's not allowed that an iron tool will touch on them.
The Bible says that, right? God commands the people of Israel. These must be unhewn stones. No iron tools were used on them. And hey, they look pretty unhewn to me.
Yes, they are natural stones. Yes, they just pick them up from all these mountains and they build it together. I don't know, maybe 1,000 people, maybe more than 1,000 people, just walk together and build this amazing altar. And after this, you know, it was a sacred moment of the people. It was one of the sacred sites, and they used to use this altar even more than 100 years.
God gives a command to build this altar. For the people at home who might not understand the animal sacrifices of the Old Testament, explain why God commanded Joshua to build this altar as on Mount Ebal, as is described in the book of Deuteronomy and the book of Joshua.
They have commands in Deuteronomy and also in Joshua, verses that explain them how to build this altar. And it say to them, you can't take an iron tool and touch the stones. They need to be unhewn stones. And when you are coming and sacrifice, you can't go on steps when you go and sacrifice for me. You need to have a ramp. And here, as we saw, you have 2 ramps. And these ramps, the priest used to go on the ramp and to climb to the top of the altar, here, just here. And in that rooms, we have 4 rooms inside. They butcher the animal, even it was a sheep, cattle, or a goat. If we go back to this altar and about the findings that we find here, or Adam Zertal found here.
Yeah, tell us about that. Tell us how it was found and how he kind of uncovered it and how they came to the conclusion
that it's here.
That this was Joshua's altar.
It was a survey. After the war of 67, Israel understand that there is opportunity to find our ways, yes, to find these ancient sites of the Israelites in the Samaria and in Judea. So the government make a survey, asked for a survey, and they took archaeologists, and one of the archaeologists was Adam Zertal, that he was a cripple, yes, in his legs. Okay. Yes, he couldn't stand on his legs.
And this is a mountainous, rugged terrain up here.
We can't go from there to here. It was a
You and I could barely walk with 2 good legs.
And you remember how was difficult to climb to here. So he was a guy that he couldn't go on his legs, and he came, you know, step by step.
He crawled?
He crawled, yes.
He literally crawled.
Yes, yes. Wow. He came step by step here, and he found this area that it was till the height of this sketch.
To the height, okay. The sketch, I see it kind of looks like black paint or kind of marker almost along the rocks. That's what you're referring to.
Yes, yes. It was covered by mud and by the stones. Why? Because when the ancient Israelites, when they left this site and went to Shiloh, so they didn't want that somebody will looted this altar or somebody will sacrifice again on it.
Folks, what an incredible privilege to film at the site of Joshua's altar. You can see why it has such great significance to me and to every Christian or Jew who believes in the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. If you want to watch the entire segment, just go to the full TV episode section here on our YouTube channel and click on episode 181. This is the kind of cutting-edge, timely information that you just won't hear about in the mainstream media, but we've got it for you right here, Monday through Friday on the Watchman Newscast. Now, we'll let you know if we have further updates on this story in the coming days. The more we can raise attention about the Palestinian Authority's shameless attempts to erase history, the better. The truth will win out. Thanks for joining us here today on the Watchman Newscast. Have a great weekend. Until next time, God bless you, and remember, never hold your peace. Hey everyone, thanks for checking out the Watchman Newscast. If you enjoyed this episode and want to see more, make sure you go ahead and hit the like button, click subscribe, and tap the bell icon to turn on notifications for new Watchman Newscast episodes every weekday.